so far. 24-hour period. So we had some men riding trucks, cigarette trucks today.
Honestly, I gotta say, when I left in February, I was like, oh, like I should go to Detroit for a couple months and like just get more active and learn a lot and see what I can get involved.
Yeah, man.
It wouldn't be too spinny to stay out here and people out here.
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned a lot in your presence and learned about your ops. So appreciate the time.
Not a problem, man.
Yeah,
the whole point is, again, big picture.
Yep.
To make it safe out here. And a lot of this stuff is there's several different levels to it, but this is the physical aspects. The educational aspect is the most important.
Yep.
The second most important is the physical aspects, but they're very close. And then there's the political side. And the political side is this, like this police stuff, this is important, right? This is very important. And so is the other political side, which is the legal side, how the laws have to change to support safety. There's a lot of laws that have to be changed, lots of them. And right now, that's part of the problem. There are no threat laws, no threat codes. So schools don't have to have, they have to have fire doors, but they don't have to have anti-ballistic doors. They have to have smoke detectors, but they don't have to have sonic boom detectors to tell you where the origin of gunshots came from. They have to have a red handle for fire, but not a blue handle for police. These schools have to have all these safety countermeasures, but nothing that deals with an armed human being coming to do great bodily harm. No access control area to determine if a person is supposed to be in the school, and then determine if they will be able to get access or not. You can walk up to 9 out of 10 schools in America and have physical contact with the school itself without being verified. And if you have the right look in a suit, you can actually get inside the school and walk around.
Are you kidding me? I used to walk around my kids' schools all the time. One day,
protective schools.
One day, I went to my kids' school and actually taught them how to play fucking basketball. They let me teach the entire fucking class. I was like, wow. No, I mean, they were all playing basketball. My kids were in the class, and then it was like the teacher ducked out. He's like, "You got this, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay. I guess I can teach you how to play a little bit."
You got this.
I'm gonna go hang out with the other teachers.
I think
no oversight. No oversight.
No, I mean,
my idea is that all the classrooms should have cameras, and oversight should be city, state, and country. 3 levels of different organizations that can see inside every classroom and see what's going on, right? See inside the schools. 3 different levels of oversight. You never know who's looking.
Yeah, I mean, I think just like the current policing model is very skewed.
The police departments, how come they're not 3 levels of oversight? There should be a local police observation, just watching where all the police officers are and what they're doing in the police stations. There should be a county, there should be a state, there should be a federal oversight agency that just looks, right?
But we know how.
And definitely civilian. You definitely have to have a civilian component.
There should be a civilian one in there too somewhere.
Yes, there has to be civilian component to everything. Civilian oversight is required for everything. So you should be able to have a police, and it has to be separate building, separate titles, separate functions, no meetings, no contact, 0 contact between the civilian monitoring oversight and the internal police mechanism. 0 contact is allowed. No conversations, no meetings, no nothing. Therefore, there's absolutely no cross-contamination. Right now, even if you have some kind of civilian organization, it's either got ex-cops in it or it's cross-contaminated.
Yep. That's true.
They're usually ex-police officers, FBI agents. They're still connected to the actual subject matter interpersonally. It's part of who they are. So how can you know something's wrong if you are part of it?
If you're human.
No, I mean, 9 out of 10 cops cannot even see the wrong in it until they're faced with it, and they still don't see the true wrong in it. But 9 out of 10 police officers cannot see the reality of what they're a part of. And if they just laid it out, it doesn't make sense. This whole, the entire thing, if you laid it all the way out, it doesn't make sense. It's just, So I ask, what I do is I use questions. So instead of saying this, and this, like I do with you guys, to police, I say this. Give me an example of when you would think it'd be okay to shoot a police officer. Go.
They would say if they were
Never.
attacking other police officers.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't even cross their mind. 9 out of 10 of them don't even think that. That wouldn't be impossible. Police officers don't do that. 9 out of 10 wouldn't even think of that as an option. Just ask them. Go, when would you think it would be okay to actually shoot a police officer? When he's off duty, and what about when he's on duty? When would it be okay for a civilian to shoot a police officer? When would you like your mother or father to take action to shoot a police officer? When would you support that action? Well, the answer is easy. It should be when you support the other way around. When, you know, I mean, right?
Yeah, we made. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a video called "When Should You Shoot a Cop?" And that was what I said. I took time to like edit videos. That was one of the ones I mentioned that a guy had written an essay that was like pretty spot on, and so I asked him to read the audio or narrate it, and then I made a video to it. And that video has like almost 500,000 views now. It probably does because it's been mirrored in other places.
Wow.
So yeah, that's one that I think is pretty on point. Talking about like self-ownership and stuff like that, self-defense. It's not an initiation course.
Well, was it Indiana or Illinois now has a law that says that you can?
Essentially it says if you would defend yourself against somebody else, then it doesn't matter what costume, the attire somebody has on.
Right.
But yeah, Indiana initially.
It was Indiana.
So that's my point, is that we have a severe problem. We have police officers that are literally beating people to death. At what point would you be legal in defending that person's life? Like that. Do you remember the time the cop grabbed he grabbed the throat of the ambulance worker, okay? And he's holding the ambulance guy against the thing, he's slamming him, and she's got a patient in the back. So he is literally right now, he represents the possibility of harming the lives of 2 people. There's no reason why the other state trooper didn't pull out his gun, either shoot him or take him into custody. Except that officer doesn't like the law either. Neither one of them are law enforcement officers. If they were, this one would never have choked the black guy who was the driver of the ambulance who's saving life. That life is more important than an officer's job. Somehow that officer was fired before and didn't get fired this time. Did you know that? He was fired for conduct unbecoming. But it was okay, and this is my thing. This is the thing that pissed me off. His commander said it was okay because this ambulance worker ignored the lights of a police officer. He's not supposed to. No one is supposed to put anyone before someone's life. There's no law that says there's nothing anywhere that would say that you have to listen to a police officer when someone's life's in danger.
I think we all see a lot of police employees who put first and foremost, whether you disobey their dictates, that's the most key thing that they care about.
And we got to have a record. There has to be a police record. Right now, there's no records being kept. So right now, each officer has their own stats, and a civilian organization needs to keep those records. Yes. And every single city needs to have a police station. Okay. Now, the purpose of this police station is threefold. Number one, transparency. Right. Number 2, hopefully to build a bond between the taxpayer and the person they're paying for their safety. That's the purpose of it. The mechanism is that you're going to show what police do for their community. Right there. And also included in there is the things they shouldn't have done.
Yeah, I just say, I mean, you're
but in every jurisdiction, you have that television station. It's just federal. It's a federal television station. It is the stats. It is what's going on. It is your department. And it's every city, every county, and every state has its own section of what's going on. So you actually can see police officers rescued a baby. Police officers got arrested for dealing cocaine. Police officers, I mean, it's just real. It's just what is. No opinion. It's what's going on. It's the blotter.
No spin.
Right, no spin, just straight.
Yeah.
This officer was accused of rape. He was then cleared of rape. This officer was accused of rape again. And he was cleared of rape. This officer was accused of rape again. Okay.
That's
So,
enough clearance.
come on, man. So how is it this one cop gets accused of rape in Pennsylvania, this one state trooper, over a 20-year period, a bunch of times? Finally, they fire him after 20 years, right? Of course, they have to give the women $1 million each. All 5 women, they say, absolutely can prove they were raped by him. So you mean it took you 20 years to figure that out? How come nobody's in trouble for that?
Yeah,
that's like the coach that was raping the kids at
don't even get me started.
in
Penn State.
How come the cops aren't being arrested? They're complicit.
Oh, for sure.
All of them have to go to jail. I'm sorry. And reciprocity is a new law. Reciprocal action policy, okay? And that's this. If for any reason a person is wrongfully convicted, everyone involved has to do the same amount of time in jail that they did. If for any reason you were not smart enough to figure out this person did not break the law, okay, you must go to jail for the same amount of time they spent. They spent 10 years in. You as a prosecutor, you as the judge, you as the police officer involved, all have to go to prison for 10 years too.
There'd be a lot of people spending hundreds or thousands of years behind it.
No, they wouldn't. You know what they would do? Stop that shit immediately.
They would straighten that
They'd be
shit
like,
out
dude, I need proof. Fuck that. I'm not fucking around with this case.
Yeah.
You got to prove this shit. You hear me? I'm not going to let this guy just fucking go in there because he's retarded. And that's what they're doing right now is they're playing, well, you can't really defend yourself because you can't speak well. Or you can't afford to defend. They found this black guy in Georgia in fucking jail for 5 years. Do you know what got him out? His mom. Do you know why? She got a lawyer. Know how much? $500. Do you know how long it took her? 5 years to get $500. To get a lawyer to go to the jail to say, why the fuck is he in here? Guess what he was in there for? Nothing. They have no paperwork. He's just in there.
Unreal.
He's been in the fucking jail for 5 years. His mom goes and sees him every week, and nobody has any paperwork that shows why he was ever in there a day in his life.
Have you ever seen the movie Brubaker? It's
Yeah.
an old movie with Robert Redford.
Yep.
It says the same thing. There was a guy that was in there fucking 5 years under and had to be just because he was comfortable.
Well, do you remember that, one thing to remember is our prison system itself. If you go back and study it, man, it's really horrendous.
Oh, yeah.
How they just grab people and put them in prison. And how our laws actually got changed was from, was a white guy who was killed in custody. He starved to death, he starved as prisoners, and working in coal mines where prisoners were set. And it's a white guy who was grabbed from, he's actually from, I think he was from Chicago or something. They grabbed his ass like in Ohio or something. And they just grabbed him, literally like grabbed him and put him in jail. And made him work for some fucking oil, oil, in Florida, where he died in custody. And that's what made them pass these new laws about, there has to be some paperwork, there has to be a court, there has to be...
They have to follow the Fourth Amendment and due process.
Yeah,
and
you
all
guys,
that.
obviously they're not following the existing things they say they are supposed to, so I don't think putting more, you need to do this, mechanisms and oversight of their friends is going to... I just say, let's do more of this. Let's do, more of this.
And like you said, civilian oversight, separate buildings,
and then the data,
lines.
like you just said, the guy was telling you, I totally agree. Yeah. Everything's about data. Yeah. You use data, use cameras. Everything you do, you use the electronic...
objectivity.
Electronic data gathering. It just tells all the stories.
Yeah.
So, I love the part where all your phones can be tracked. Turn all the tracking on. Let them track you, man. Do you know how hard it's going to be to set you up once you can prove where you were not? Yeah. See, that's what backfires. See, what law enforcement needs is ignorance. They need you not to have this data trail. They need you to have no footprint. Because if you have this footprint, example, case in point. They take this boy into custody. He's charged with robbery and attempt murder. He's at home on Facebook. Do you hear about the story? Dude, he stayed in jail for 9 months to prove that his father must have been talking to his girlfriend on Facebook. They had to go to court and he had to say, what does TTYL mean? I don't know. What's the password to the... I don't know. I don't go on Facebook. I'm his dad. I don't go on Facebook with girls, okay? Little girls. I don't do that. I don't know shit about Facebook. They had to prove in court that the father doesn't know about Facebook. before they would believe. Wait, they still try to make it so this kid is the one who clearly was on the timeline on Facebook with his girlfriend, who's also 16. They tried to say the father. This is what the law enforcement professionals came up with. The father is having an affair with the daughter on Facebook while the son is out robbing people. Instead of realizing the evidence clearly shows this kid was on Facebook and move on to the real criminal, they don't care about evidence. And as soon as I could get, somehow we can get people to understand that police don't care about right and wrong. They just don't. They're not concerned with that.
There's no incentive to be right now.
Well, regular people is all I care about. Once they understand it, right? Then they'll understand that their entire law enforcement community is built on lies. It's built on lies from top to bottom. They lie on each other. They lie on civilians. They just lie for the purpose of lying. It's not that serious. This one fucking cop, black cop, turn his back on his black son, right? Here's how fucking dumb these fucking black cops are. They really piss me off. So, here's why they piss me off. Aiyana Jones, 7 years old, is in her house on a fucking thing. She's asleep, comes in, bang. He had to do it on purpose. I know the guy. He didn't do it on purpose as in, I want to kill a child. He did it on purpose as in, I want to kill something black. That's all. Subconsciously, it's black. Subconsciously, I want to kill. Period. The black cops are right there too, going, hey, this is sweet. It's good, you know, let's throw a fucking party. Now, do you really think if you reverse the roles, the black cop comes in, they shoot a little white girl, and the white cops are going to be like, oh, it's cool.
Yeah,
dude.
right.
Dude, it's
he
cool.
did it.
Dude, they're going to fucking tackle his ass, handcuff him the fuck down. Nobody's throwing these parties for you. You fucking killed a little girl. What the fuck is wrong with you? Okay, then don't do what you know doesn't make sense. No one's going to do that. It's for you. Don't do that, what you know is wrong, for someone else. Right?
That's right.
Wrong is wrong, no matter who did it.
Exactly.
And these fucking cops don't get that. You're the joke. You're joking on yourself. It's not real. You're living a racial fantasy. And remember, on a plantation, the black guys on the plantation enforced the rules on the plantation. It wasn't a bunch of fucking, like they were trying to make it like there's a white guy on a horse and the black people down. There were black guys on a horse. And they were the slave master's kids, and they loved their position more than the foreman, because there was no other future other than being on that fucking horse as the foreman. And they will fucking kill everyone to maintain that position. That fucking, the white guy can go to another plantation. He can go to a different job. That black guy, this is all he's got, is this one plantation. He gets his pick of bitches, he gets clothes from the master, and he gets a fucking horse. He will do whatever it takes to hold that position.
Sure.
Fight hard. Django Unchained. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That fucking black guy in there
Samuel Jackson.
People need to understand that's real.
Yeah.
He was worse than the slave master.
Yeah.
The slave master's like, come on, let's give him a break. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's real, man.
There's a great Malcolm X clip where he's talking about the house Negro and the field Negro and the difference between the two.
And so what happens is we don't understand that just like a female who's being pimped by that's being prostituted by a pimp, right? She will fight for that fucking pimp. It's psychology, man. You will fight for your oppressor. You will fight for that which is holding you back. Because you're part of it now. You're part of the machine psychologically. And my point is, we're not using psychology to understand people's behaviors, right? And so my theory is this: our next actual Holocaust as a people is going to come from the internet. And the reason why I say that is because people are not taught to be critical thinkers. So you can get them to start thinking a thing. And once humans start having group think, they start acting on it. What's our new witch hunt? Now it's Muslims. We must kill the Muslims because they bomb things. When everybody knows more Christians have put bombs on people than anyone in the history of mankind. There are more bombs in America than there is anywhere else. Do you know how many bomb squads there are in America? Nobody knows. That's how many fucking bomb squads there are. Do you really think someone allocates money for something that doesn't exist? The only reason we have bomb squads is because we have fucking bombs. We think there's Muslims in wherever America, all over fucking Milwaukee, Michigan, Montana. No. Those are Christians making bombs, blowing up other fucking Christians. This is not new. But we got this new thing now. We got to get the Muslims. Everything. I'm sorry. We got to get the Muslims that are tannish, because we don't really mean the blonde-haired Muslims that we don't know about yet, right? Or like this guy I know down the street, red-haired guy with freckles. We don't mean that kind of Muslim. We need like the tannish ones, you know, tan skin with the dark hair, that kind of Muslim, kind of like a Mexican. But if they knew that that's not even how most Muslims looked, that would change our American idea. So my thing is, if we understood how often Shawshank Redemption happens, if we understood how often nefarious prosecutorial things happen, we would understand we can't trust the legal system in its form. You have to really scrutinize every component. I scrutinize every fucking detail. I don't listen to shit I'm told, because I already know how they lie. When I was saying this cop, man, his son gets accused of rape. This fucking dumbass cop doesn't realize these two cops fucking hate him because they didn't think black guys should be in chips. This is back in the 80s. They didn't fucking think. They were like, fuck this motherfucker, he's on our motorcycles, fuck him. So you know what they did? They set his son up for rape. And this stupid ass believed these fucking assholes who don't even like him. His son was in prison for 12 years. 12 years before the woman finally recanted and said, they made me say that.
That's insane.
He didn't talk to his son not one time in 12 years. From the day he was arrested, he never spoke to him, not realizing these two cops hated him for being a black chips officer.
Wow.
His son lost 12 years of his life, man. And so imagine how many...
That multiplied by however many, yeah.
Dude,
Get to that bathroom.
yeah. And then a lot of them aren't even alive to even fucking... Did you hear about these new laws they have about you getting money at the end of your stay in prison illegally? You don't get any money for a lot of states. So imagine